All right, welcome everyone. Hey, Clark, thanks a lot for the introduction. I'm really glad to be here. Everybody, welcome to the Epson Technology Center in Carson, California. I actually want to show you a little bit about it. So Aaron, let's turn on the Mevo. Just give everybody, right now we're inside the, there's our system that we're using to record. But this is the P series and T series lab in Carson, where we do media development and testing and all sorts of stuff. So check it out. We've got a lot of the P series and the T series in this room, and other parts of the building we have our other series as well. And that's actually through the glass there. So I just wanted to give you a quick little tour of what's going on. I'm really glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest in Epson SureColor P series printers, 24-inch and 44-inch. So I'm going to be talking about the Epson SureColor P7570 and the Epson SureColor P9570. The 7570 and 9570, both 24 inches wide and 44 inches wide. Essentially, these two new printers are the latest generation of 20 years in development that we've been designing and building large format inkjet printers. So we've been trying to perfect the process ever since, and we're never going to stop. This latest generation of printer, in my opinion, is amazing. And it has a lot of features, and I'm going to go through a lot of the features that make this printer what it is. And so the first thing I really want to talk about, I think, which is at the forefront of any Epson printer, has everything to do with the printhead. So the printhead, we like to say around here, if the printhead, if the printer is a car, then the printhead is the engine. So, and then the ink is the gasoline. So it's kind of a good analogy. I mean, everything that makes the printer run has a lot to do with the printhead. So what I'm going to show you, let's see here, this is a difference between the previous generation printhead. You can see how small this printhead is, and our current generation printhead. So in the past, we had a smaller printhead, a 1-inch size on each of these blades. And so with this new micro TFP printhead, this printhead is 1.32 inches per blade. And then we have it stacked. So that actually equals 2.6 inches. So you can see the huge difference between previous generation printers and the new P series 7570 and 9570. There's a huge difference between the two. And so a little bit more about the printhead itself. So the printhead has individual blades. And so this printhead has 12 different channels. So there's a blade in every single channel. Each blade has 400 nozzles. So you have 2 rows of that, and that's 800 nozzles per blade multiplied by 12 equals 9,600 nozzles. So that's quite a lot of nozzles, and the size is what contributes to the amazing speed. So matter of fact, one of the things I did recently through some competitive analysis is did a speed comparison test between our printers and some competitive models. So let's bring up the slide chart. So what we're looking at here is, in printing, there's different resolutions, which I'm sure you're 100% aware of. And some shops use high quality, some shops use quality mode or production mode. And so the two modes that I compared, if you're familiar with Epson technology, we have level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I compared level 1 quality and level 2 quality. So you see here in the slide that that's both 600 by 600 DPI. The difference has to do with the level of quality and what's called microweave, which associates with number of passes. In this case, we've got a 6-pass mode and we have an 8-pass mode. So with 6-pass, we're essentially 1.5 times what we call quality mode 600 by 600. We're actually 1.5 times faster than the Canon Pro series, their Image ProGraph Pro 2100, the 24-inch model. And on the production mode, which is also 600 by 600, but uses a different a different microweave, we're actually almost twice as fast, 1.9 times fast. Now that's on the P7570. On the next slide, you'll see with the the one after that. Sorry about that. On the P9570 versus the Prograph Pro 4100, it's a slightly different print speed comparison. So with production mode, 600 by 600, with the 6-pass, we're about 1.6 times faster with that level 1 quality on the Epson side. So this is information that came from Canon and then with our own internal testing. So, but you could definitely see that we are a much faster printer compared to the competition. So Clark will actually he did his own test he'll talk about in a little bit. So there's other components to this printhead, I think, that are really substantial. And one of the things that's available with this new printhead is that because it has 12 channels, there is a channel for each individual ink. So there's 12 inks in this printer, and so there's an individual channel for each and every ink. And why that's important, if you're familiar with our technology, you know that there's been a switch between photo black and matte black. You know, sometimes it's an auto switch, but now with our new technology, there's no switching between photo black and matte black because there's an individual channel for every single color. So there's no switching. You can print on a glossy media that utilizes photo black, or any of the other medias that utilize photo black, and then switch to a fine art paper that utilizes the matte black, and there's no time wasted. It just switches, and there's an individual channel, and you don't waste any ink or anything like that. So there's no switching between photo and matte black. All right. Some of the other technologies I think that are really interesting with this printhead, and we'll get to in a bit, has to do with the maintenance of it, as well as it also has nozzle verification technology to minimize any of the clogging that may occur. So over time, the nozzles are auto-maintained. You walk up to the printer, you do a printhead, you do a nozzle check, and you look at the report, and if you need cleaning, you do the cleaning. But for the most part, this printer maintains itself. So if you're in an environment that is relatively dust-free, you're going to have a pretty straightforward approach to printing. So we made some improvements in that so that there's less need for nozzle cleaning because it's done on a continuous basis. And so that's the printhead. Now let's talk about ink. This ink on this printer is what's called Ultrachrome Pro 12 ink. And one of the things that we've included with this ink is we've included violet. So if you look at our P7000 or P9000, the Ultrachrome HDX, the difference between that ink set and this ink set, one, it's called Ultrachrome Pro 12, and then also we've included a new violet ink. And violet is actually interesting because one of the areas in which the color gamut is increased, you would think is in violets, but it really also affects your indigo blues, your dark, rich, reflex blue type blues. And with violet ink, you can hit some of the colors in that hue range that you weren't necessarily able to hit before. So that's an addition with this. It's a new thing with the P7570, as well as the SureColor P9570 is violet ink. Now the ink cartridge sizes haven't changed at all. We still have the same sizes that we had before, the 150 milliliter cartridge, the 350 milliliter cartridge, and the 700 milliliter cartridge. So in fact, like we did some price comparison, and we're actually about, Aaron, let's go to that price comparison slide. And you can see that the difference between P7570 ink and Pro 2100 ink is that we're about 6 cents per milliliter lower than Canon. So that's also a good thing in terms of cost saving. So that's across the board on both the P7570 and the 9570. So we're actually less expensive in terms of ink. So the ink system, put this right back in, close it up, close it up. Now, we also did some We also have a relationship with a third-party company called Wilhelm Research, and Wilhelm Research has done some print permanence testing on this Ultrachrome Pro 12 ink. And so it has the same print permanence rating as before, 200 years for color and up to 400 years for black and white. So for those fine artists or those interested in longevity of your output on an Epson print, it's pretty much the industry leading longevity. So you can go to wilhelmresearch.com or I think it's WIR is the website, WIR.org, I believe. But you could put in Google Wilhelm Research, Imaging Research, and you can actually go to the website and read more about image permanence. So this ink set has amazing image permanence. Okay, so one of the other things that we did with this printer that's different than previous generation is that we have a brand new print mode that's called Black Enhance Overcoat. Now, Black Enhance Overcoat is a print mode that's found in the printer driver. It's found in Epson Print Layout. And what it is it mostly works with the glossy medias like photo glossy or our metallic glossy paper. And what it does is it mixes gray ink with black to give a deep, rich, dark, almost wet look to the prints. It increases the contrast, but it just gives you this rich, deep, dark look. It's very difficult to show through a Zoom meeting, but it is a new mode. If you're familiar with other manufacturers that may use a gloss overcoat or a chroma optimizer, that's not what this is. We don't have a separate channel that utilizes some sort of flood coat or anything like that. We're actually using one of the inks, the gray ink, to make this Black Enhance Overcoat. And it's something that you can turn on or turn off at will, depending on the media that you choose in the driver and in Epson Print Layout. So, so that's a brand new mode. Now, we've also completely redesigned the printer from the ground up. We've taken a lot of what the photographic community, the production print community, and taken their the desired features and some of the things they'd like to see in the printer and some of the advancements, and we've really taken it to heart, and we've redesigned the printer from the ground up. And one of the things that we did with this new series is we made it very, very robust. So it's actually up to 40 pounds heavier than previous generation. And so all of the components, in a sense, have been upgraded so that it's just it's a beefier printer. And then there are some really cool little design features, I think, that are super important that have contributed to this new model. One is we've completely redesigned the media door. This media door actually, it has a complete seal here that goes all the way across. And what that does is that when we close the media door, it completely protects the print area and the printer from any particulate matter that may fall into the print zone. So there's no little hole or anything like that that media could get into. It still utilizes the inductive roller system that we have in the past for ease of use of loading, but we've also tried to perfect it and make it even easier. So our printers have always been easier to use, but we're always trying to make them easier and easier as well. And also support for sheet media as well. This new little sheet door and mechanism makes it really easy to load sheet. Essentially what you would do is you would basically line the sheet up to this line, and you would tell the front panel that you're loading sheet, and then you can load sheets right into the printer. Actually up to 1.5 millimeters thick. So we have a media called, it's a poster board material that you can purchase that that's about almost 1.5 millimeters thick. But any fine art paper up to 1.5 millimeters thick, which is pretty thick, you can load into the sheet feed area. So I think this new design is really important because it contributes to the health of the printhead, because it protects the print zone from any particulate matter that may fall into the print zone. So that's super, super key. All right, one of my favorite things that I'd like to show you is that we've included now a very user-friendly way of conducting user maintenance, because what happens over time, especially in a production environment, is that if you are printing a lot of fine art media, if you're printing a lot of fine art media and over time what happens is little fibers from the print media wind up getting loose from the paper, and it can get in the printer itself. And so users wanted the ability to have some sort of a way to clean the printhead area. And so I'm going to show you that we can actually print right outside of the capping station. We can clean right outside of the capping station, and we can actually get access to the head. So to do that, let's show a close-up of the front panel real quick. Okay, I'm going to go over here to Menu. Okay, and then we have a Maintenance button that we can pick. And this, of course, is where, this is, of course, where you can also, choose your nozzle check and head clean and power clean. But if you continue to move on down the way here, you can see that there is something that's called cleaning the maintenance parts. Okay, cleaning the maintenance parts. So if I click on that, you can actually wipe the print head and wipe around the cap. Let's see, I'm not going to do the print head first. I'm going to wipe around the cap. Okay, so you can wipe around the cap. I hit start. And so what's going to happen, of course, is that, of course, you can't rush the printer, is it's actually going to move into place. So the print head's going to move across so that it can give me access to the capping station. So whenever the printer is ready, you look at the front panel, it kind of tells you that it's preparing the process, and you got to give it a little bit of time here. And basically, you're ready to do so. So it's super, super easy to do. All you do is open the door, the ink door, and then you pull down on this lever here, and then you move across to take the door off. Super easy, no tools, no anything. And so basically we also sell these cleaning sticks that you can buy as a consumable. You get a pack of these cleaning sticks. And I'm also gonna open up the door here so that it lets in a little bit of light. And we're gonna turn on the Mevo camera so you can actually see here. Yeah, look at that. So you can go right inside and clean right around. This is the capping station. So you can come in right around here and clean all in this area, the capping station. Okay, it's a brand new printer here in the demo lab, so there's not a lot of debris. But if there was, and this was a couple years in, you'd be able to come in here and clean this up really, really easily. And that's all it takes. So I'm just going to close this back up and come over here. Process is super straightforward. To put the door back on, move this across, it kind of clicks right into place, and close. You're good to go. Now the next one is a little bit more tricky, but I like showing it because I think it's super powerful. It should be closed. Oh, I'm sorry, that's why that needed to be closed. Okay, so I hit done. It's going to go back. So yeah, this came from direct response from users that really wanted a way that they could maintain their printer more themselves. You still can't, switch out a print head or anything like that. This isn't thermal technology. This is piezo technology. The print head is designed to last the life of the printer. It's designed to produce accurate dots day after day, month after month, year after year, very precise. That's what makes an Epson print. An Epson print is the shape of the dot, the precision of the placement of the dot, and all of that. All right, so now I'm actually going to wipe the print head itself. Well, not going to wipe the print head, but I'm going to show you. Now, the print head itself, in order to get to it, if you think about it, right, is that the nozzles are facing this way toward the back. So there's actually a little door. Let's turn the Mevo on so you can see the door. Here's the door, okay? So to get the door, there's a little latch here. You just do this, you click up. And the light's a little tough to see, but inside here, whoops. Inside is actually you can actually see the little blades, right? Yeah. So with the proper tool and the proper cleaning, your wiper, you can actually clean the printhead itself if, it's necessary. And this is only if it's absolutely necessary and you've spoken to service, you've talked to your reseller, and that's something that you need to do. The point is you don't necessarily need a technician to do this. You can do this yourself, and that makes it very, very powerful. So hopefully everybody can see that that's actually inside the printer here. All right, let's close that up. Perfect. So that's sort of the user maintenance. All right. I also want to talk about the new 4.3-inch touchscreen that I've been messing with. This is much larger than our previous generation printer, and it is quite powerful. It's almost like it's a mini computer that's right on the printer itself. And so Clark is going to talk about Epson Media Installer a little bit later, where we can actually manage media that is chosen right here on the front panel. But it's super powerful in that you can access the modes that you need to do maintenance, clean the printhead, do the light cleaning, the heavy duty cleaning. You can, check your IP address and all sorts of stuff. So, and it's very easy to use, touchscreen. It goes by the home icon here. One of the things it has is this light. So if you turn the light on, you can actually, let's see real quick, the printer itself, that light. And even with the Mevo, one of the things, let's just turn the Mevo on real quick, maybe to get inside of there. What's nice about having a light on is as it's printing, you can actually see what, if your page size is right, or if you did a color edit or something like that, and you wanted to see if that color edit is anything like what you thought it might look. And so in the past, what people have done is use, like a flashlight or a cell phone light or something like that. But now we put an actual light right into the printer itself. So very, very useful. It comes on by default when you send an image to print. So it's not like you have to turn it on, but you do have a functionality to turn it on or off at will. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of other things I think that are super cool. If I go to general settings and go to printer settings, right, I'm always in the way. Let's see here. Okay, it's here in the basic settings. It's called screen customization, screen customization. And what screen customization is too is that screen customization is used if you want to change the background of the screen. So here you can change it to multiple colors, or you can do a very simple but powerful mode in which it shows the user how much time is left when you're printing. So if you've got a fleet of these, or even if you just have one and time is of the essence, and you want to be able to look across the room and just see that the print that you sent on max quality is going to take 12 minutes, or the print that you sent on level 2 quality is going to take 4 minutes, you'll be able to see right on the front panel. So changing the color of the screen, changing it to a simple or what we call professional mode is something that you can do right easily from the front panel. So of course you have all the other standard features where it shows you how much ink you have, what paper you have loaded. You even see here you have legacy fiber that's loaded. And that's kind of a change from our previous generation. Our previous generation, it didn't really matter so much what was on the front panel. Whereas with this generation printer, we've tried to make it simpler by making sure that all of the media models that are available to you from Epson are installed into the control panel here. And if you installed a different media from another manufacturer, you can manage that too, all through Epson Media Installer, where the actual name shows up, the ICC profile shows up in the proper place, it shows up in the driver, and all of that. So that's the front panel, super powerful, and it's something that we have definitely evolved. The other thing I want to show you is this new evolved catch basket. So matter of fact, this catch basket has multiple configurations based upon moving this way, so that of course the print is going to print. If you have the auto cut turned on, it's going to go into the basket there. But what if you had a really, really long print and you didn't want anything to happen to that print? Well, what you can do is you can extend this out. Matter of fact, look how far you can extend it. And so you can create like a ramp. So really, so the print kind of just slide, like if it's a nice wide print, so it just slides down. So there's like very minimal amount of damage that can be caused to the print because it's not going into a basket, it's not turning or anything like that. It's essentially just sliding down this ramp. And then if you don't need it anymore, it just telescopes right back in. Sorry about that. In front of it, and then you just place it right back in there. So, and of course, and the material slightly different than our previous generation, and we've really tried to make the catch basket something that is much more user friendly. So that is the catch basket. Essentially, in terms of the hardware, that's about all I wanted to cover. There are other aspects that Clark will talk about, and there are some software tools. Like I said, Epson Media Installer. Epson Media Installer is installed when you install the combo driver and allows you to manage the media on the front panel. And then there's also Epson Print Layout. So if you go to epson.com/Epson Print Layout, it's a tool that you can use to lay out your image and to print. So without having to go to Photoshop or InDesign, Illustrator, or anything like that, you can go right straight to Epson Print Layout. And you can also automate and go from Photoshop into Epson Print Layout. So that's epson.com. It's a free tool, /Epson Print Layout. And it's a tool that, it's quite powerful for for photographers, designers, and anyone that's printing to the SureColor P series printer, which, by the way, it works with our whole entire series from our desktop models all the way through our 44-inch line.